You don't need to die a virgin.
If you had the opportunity to take control of your life, take control of your damn life.
But can you live with yourself to make that choice? Because that's a tough choice.
Hi guys, you're watching another episode of Master Debater.
Master Debate!
I am your host and judge, Sylvia from Night Owl Cinematics.
Yes!
My name is Siriji and I have a toxic personality that wins every argument.
Win me!
Here.
I'm Joel, I'm from Debate Association Singapore. You are my president!
Marry me!
Welcome to Master Debater, the show where we fight about not so important topics in battles of debates. Every episode, 3 people from each team will present their stance going up 1v1 against their opponents in a speech round, followed by a quick-fire rebuttal round. Judges will decide which team won, and the losers will have to vote out one of their own. But the judges also have a revival card for the season, which they can use to bring one speaker back. Points will be given to the winners, as well as the best speakers of the episode, voted by you. The 6 players with the most points will go to the final episode, where we will crown the Master Debater. Who will survive? Who will break down? Who will be the true Master Debater?
Okay, so in last episode I mentioned that today's one is going to be a sticky one, it's going to be a tough one because it deals with life and death. And the topic of the day is actually everyone should know when they would die. So we have blue team which is for and red team which is against. But a quick one, judges, for or against for yourself.
Yeah, I would like to know when I die.
I'm also like, you?
Can lah. Can.
Okay, let's see the arguments.
Round 1.
Okay, judges, I would like to present to you this role where all of us are going to know when we're going to die, and this date is fixed regardless of external factors. And now, death often causes shock and leads to regrets. Let me give you an example. When my mom passed away, I was asleep because I didn't know when she was going to die. And my father was next to her, but he also didn't know when she was going to die, and that's why all of us were not mentally prepared. And her relatives were not in Singapore because we don't know when she's going to die. And I know very well that if my mom knew when she was going to die, she would have wanted to put things in place. And all of us will be more mentally prepared, and there are a lot of things, and we can even spend more precious moments with her. But here's the thing, now everything is a could have because we don't know when we're going to die. And dying, all of us, we're not stupid. We know that death is eventual, right? And we know that death is eventual, but because we don't know when we're gonna die, that's why it causes fear and that's why it leads to more regrets. Death can be a beautiful thing if we had that extra information.
Well done, Chris!
Imagine a world where only one person knew they would die. I mean, Breaking Bad, Walter White, that's the entire premise of the show. And how f***ed up was that? Now, think of a world where everyone knows when they're going to die. How much chaos would ensue in the world itself? My point is, people will not be held to their moral standards anymore if they knew when they were going to die. The opposition will eventually paint a picture about utopia and one's life if they can live it to the fullest when they're going to die. But do you then start training people to be a master of their craft because they're going to live till 90? Do you then see people who are only going to live till 30 as expendable to only do expendable things for the rest of their life? We might have never gotten Bruce Lee. He died at 32. If he knew that, would he have become the professional martial artist that he ever was? He would never had that freedom to explore what he was passionate about and what he wanted to do. Do you then vote for a president because he's going to live a longer life and not die halfway through the campaign? Or do you vote for the president that's capable? What happens then? And I'm just going to leave you with this. If there was 2 babies burning in a house right now, and you can only save one lives a day later than the other, it's the obvious choice. We'd all save the one that lives 1 day longer. But can you live with yourself to make that choice? Because that's a tough choice.
Bam! Mike's back!
Okay, I just wanted to say that death actually brings about more compassion, and also Bruce Lee could have done more if he knew that he was gonna leave. Another thing is that I completely disagree with the point where you say that it will cause chaos because you're now arguing this on the basis that, you know, we don't know when we're gonna die. But if you were born in a world where you knew you were gonna die, in fact, you will have more time to prepare yourself and live a fuller life because you know when you're gonna die.
I'm not saying people shouldn't know when they're going to die. We already do this with palliative care patients. We tell them how long they have left to live. It gives them time to get over their anxiety and actually fulfill a better life with the time they have left. I'm saying we shouldn't tell people as early as when they are born or very early on in life, because it sets them up to live their life how they would do it, knowing when they're going to die and not living their life how they want to live it.
I'm sorry, I completely disagree because you are not answering the question. It does not cause chaos just because you assume it's going to cause chaos. This is all about building perspective. Sorry.
If I didn't answer the question, neither did Chrisanne really. She had a really touching story and a great example about it, but still, where's the perspective behind that? Where is the perspective that that's how everyone is going to do it? I'm saying it can cause chaos, and we know that people do not have the capacity to live their life to the fullest if they knew.
Right. Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
I'm so proud of y'all.
Way.
Round 2.
I'm excited to see what Thomas and Benzo brings to the plate.
Nothing.
Bring back my boy.
Which one is your boy?
Anyone?
Alright, it's my zip. Yeah, my zip is. When you have a deadline, there's more motivation. Less lazing around, wasting time, because there's a quantifiable number that keeps you in check. Less regrets, more success. Look at all the organizations that are in a mess because significant people died without knowledge, right? Michael Jackson could have left his last works, authors. Einstein could have even left significant theories to help the world. Society could have developed more since even the prehistoric days if they had such knowledge left behind. Right? Death also brings about compassion, as Chrisanne mentioned. Many people are only truly cherished upon death. We've never really managed to deal with this. No longer do we need to suffer the regret of not having said something or done something with someone who is passed. I actually have an example. My grandpa actually weirdly kind of knew when he was about to leave. He told me when I was leaving Germany that was the last time I was going to see him. And I knew it to be true. He, old and frail, spent his last moments with the family, doing the things that he wanted to do, and a week later, he passed. I am blessed to have such a closure, and I feel anyone else should have it too.
I agree.
Bravo.
What's that?
The dynamic entry!
Let's go, Benzo!
The world will be so sad. Imagine the following conversation of a blind date, okay? I'm the girl. Do you have a flat? Yes. Do you have a car? Yes. How long more will you have to live? 1 year. Oh, look at how realistic this is going to be. On top of all these things now, we are factoring in when we choose our partner, for example. Now we are factoring in when we're going to die. Don't tell me this is not going to affect you, okay? When you fall in love, with someone, if you know they're going to die, 1 week later, let's be real lah, okay? You will second guess every single action you take, okay? And then, how many of you here afraid to die?
Me. A lot of us.
Okay, never mind. Me too. Okay, me too. Knowing the date does not change the fact that you are going to die. But watching yourself walking towards the day that you're going to die is very depressing. There are more pessimists than optimists in the world. How I know? Google lor. Then the weight of this knowledge is going to crush all these poor people. Thank you. I feel I'm very...
If you're talking about dating and you're worried that they die in 1 year, think about it. Love, no matter what, I would stay with this person, I want to spend the time with this person. If my girlfriend told me that she has cancer, would I leave her? I wouldn't. I would stay with her.
Actually, I really agree. But the thing is, right, let's say, right, this first girlfriend died, right, and then very depressing. Then you're very depressed, you very stressed. Then the next girlfriend, right, you know that after that, she also left 1 week to die. Then after the next month, you date, then it's all 1 week, then how? Very depressing, sia.
These kind of uncertainties are obviously there even in our current lives, but with the knowledge of when you're going to die, it erases these anxieties and uncertainties because anxieties exist with the uncertainties.
But then speaking about you talking about all the legends, right, they have to do more work, right? But the thing is, bro, they really enjoy their life because all their life they have been doing work. Then they never even get to enjoy the life because when they know they're going to die, they will not make good work, then they want to become legend.
So these legends are driven because of such passions. Knowing when you are going to die, you will know how much time you have left to do even more during that time. And different people have different kind of motivations.
But then you will not get to enjoy life.
2 seconds say what, bro?
I don't know, bro.
It's so peaceful, I love it. It's so peaceful. Very cute.
I tried my best, guys.
Round 3.
Sophia's choice.
Okay, hold on a second.
Your 1 minute started 5 minutes ago.
We live most of our life conforming to the demands of society, okay? But what if in your last years or months, okay, you could go nuts eat whatever the hell you want. You want that pizza, go ahead and eat it, okay? Because for one, I am so sick of going on diets. Why the hell do I go on a diet? Because next week I know I have to shoot, okay, for kid, okay? But if you knew that you only had 1 year left to live, who gives a shit? Just eat whatever the hell you want, okay? Now, death is also very largely feared, okay? But if you looked at it differently, death could be fun and could even be a celebration if we knew when we're gonna die. Okay, you'll be able to plan your own funeral, okay? How wonderful is that? There'll be more farewell parties and death can now be celebrated as compared to it being a shock. Okay, you could even dress up before you die so you won't have to look ugly. Okay, and if you're an influencer, people can even do sponsored death posts and boost businesses. Like, for example, I could wear a sponsored Gucci belt and die and my earnings can go to the poor children in Africa. Yes! Last but not least, okay, you think dying asleep is the ideal right now, but what if you could pre-plan your death activity? Go skydiving, have sex for the last time, leave the world with a bang. Thank you.
Yeah! Leave the world with a bang!
Leave the world with a bang!
Wow, a lot of sex, yeah.
Go lady!
Let's go, lady!
The opposition is saying you wish you know the death date of your loved ones so you can spend more time with them. Be better prepared. I want to talk about the intention behind that. Which one is more worthy? You spend time with your loved ones because you want to or because you knew he or she was gonna die? You talk about your grandfather's story, I talk about my grandmother's story. Before she passed away, I was there with her. I spent a lot of time with her. But standing here today, I want her to know that my granddaughter loved me and spent so much time with me because she loved me. Instead of my granddaughter spent so much time with me, she loved me because she knew I was gonna die. Okay, let me be romantic for a second, okay? We all know the world is beautiful because of the unknown. We all know romance is gonna die. But does it stop us from falling in love? No, it doesn't. Why? Because we don't know when exactly romance is gonna die. And we wish it never does. If at the beginning of this show we knew Nick and Kishan was gonna leave the show, would this show be as great? It wouldn't be as great. Do you want to live in a world that's black and white? No, you don't want to.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay, now knowing when you die is not an excuse, okay? It is simply a reminder. It does not take away from being filial.
Sophia, are you a good person?
I believe that I am, but that's not answering the question.
Okay, I know I'm an average person. If I know I'm gonna die at 99, I will live my life recklessly. But that's not too bad. But if a bad guy knows he's gonna die at the age of 99, imagine the amount of things he's gonna do and the amount of pain he's gonna create. He will create bombs, he will molest children, he will make the life a living hell of the others. You know what's worse? Previously, he can be threatened by his own death, but now no more. Knowing the date of death makes good people reckless, reckless people bad, and bad people the walking demons.
One of the biggest fears one of the biggest fears we all have in life is regret. Okay? Now every person that I've ever talked to in my life, everyone has always told me that they don't want to live life with regrets. If you knew when you're gonna die and if you had the opportunity to take control of your life and leave the earth the way you want to leave the earth, wouldn't you want that?
Regret is not only about not doing what you want to do. It's knowing you could have done this, but you didn't do it.
I'm only going to say one thing, okay? If you had the opportunity to take control of your life, take control of your damn life.
Good job, girls! Hey, woo!
I think we made our case clear. From the social impact that it's going to have for people, throwing away their moral compass, to the way they live their life, to the way they even change relationships, even political aspects of people now being trained to do certain things because we know when they're going to die and voting for presidents even in a political fashion. I think we've made our stance. The opposition keeps saying that we're not answering the questions. I believe we are, and I think we can rebut a lot of things they're saying. Anxiety is not cause knowing when you're going to die. It is cause exactly when you are told, and that lasts all the way until you are closer to death. So the uncertainty does give you a little bit of a shield, that barrier that lets you know I am not sure when I'm going to die, and that is helpful. Palliative care patients face this every single time. It always happens. And on top of that, the last years of your life lived need to be lived properly, not because it's based on death.
Good job! Power to the people!
Ben sounds like this Malay boy stuck in a Chinese boy body. Power! Bro!
No, young with a lot of Malay friends.
Crimes don't just disappear when there's a death date. You just go to jail lah. right? Moral compasses doesn't change with knowledge, they motivate. So good people become better, bad people still end up in jail. Life is not black and white, it is rainbow and black. Life with an end, a question mark at the end. Now we fill that darkness with a little bit of light. So essentially on the emotional side, knowledge of death is a chance at closure, promoting empathy, and on the societal side, it is also a closing of a chapter to have your marks in a world with a proper departure for the betterment of society, and also to live life with no regrets. I mean, you don't need to die a virgin. If you're gonna die, let's go out and
Sometimes it's not a choice.
prostitution.
It's okay.
I think, okay, this is probably my favorite episode so far. Because it is like you mentioned one point, he shoots it down, and then he mentions something, you guys counter it. So it's a very beautiful exchange, okay? And I feel like I learned so much, so I'm very happy and I don't mind dying.
It can be a beautiful thing.
Okay, but honestly, bitchy person, and debate person. Your person.
Debate person.
Overall, let's just talk about the debate overall, right? I think there were a lot of mention of moral compasses. What I thought was a wasted opportunity was talking about economic or more tangible things like insurance. How do we re-engineer the insurance companies now when we know when we're going to die? That could be something the Red Team could have got hands on. Medical healthcare system. When people know they're going to die, will they abuse systems? Things like this that were like, oh, those are such tangible points of the debate that were not touched. Everything was moral compasses all the way through. But overall, pretty much, I have an answer of a team that I like also.
Joe, what about you?
Yeah, so what made this debate a little bit harder to judge was the fact that both teams were clashing quite hard on the issue of whether or not this was going to give people closure or whether or not this was going to cause more anxiety. I think both teams had relatively compelling explanations for why anxiety becomes even worse than UGG.com. But I think one team in this debate, I think, was slightly better at explaining and comparing why the anxiety would be marginally more on the opponent's side, and I think that Rin is the team that won the debate for me.
It's time to vote. Drum roll, please. The better team is in 3, 2, 1, point. Secretly unanimous.
Hi guys.
For Kishan!
For Kishan who died too soon in this series!
I'm surprised.
Good job, guys. Okay, what in particular you think, at which point, right, you knew win liao?
So I think when Fish was doing the executive summary of the debate, I think where the engagement became a lot clearer was when they took the blue team's arguments at their best and said that, look, sure, anxiety is a thing, but at least with this uncertainty that exists in our world, we have more buffer, which means that we don't preoccupy ourselves with the anxiety. Rather, on their side, in Blue's world forces people to confront their mortality significantly more than they otherwise would have, meaning to say the preoccupation of death would be much larger on the side of Blue. Yeah.
For me, it's the variety.
No, basically, it's the point, right? I think the same point. Let me dumb it down, okay? Basically, I think you guys presented a really strong point that if you know, right, you decrease the anxiety, right? But what they did was, that was your strongest point, and he says no. The closure now, right, is you know from the start, you are anxious even longer, you know? So in that way, Fish really kind of twist things around and really gave your best argument, now it looks like shit.
Basically, I less kiasi on their side.
Yeah, and they just had more variety of facts to support. And what you guys do while you're mirrored moral compasses about living your life to the fullest, what you guys have not successfully done was address the depressed half of community. There are optimistic optics and then there are more pessimistic people. What to do for those? But you all didn't address that.
And I like Lingy's point on intention also. So she brought up, the idea of intention versus, just planning for it. And you guys never, just catch on that point or say anything.
I will live my love life with Lingy's quote, romance is around the corner, so we try.
Yes!
Me too.
This is why we keep you. Never eliminate you early. Ling is good though. Okay. So, very sad. Blue team, you have to pick one person.
We please our strongest. Jason!
Oh my god, Jason!
I'm still one of the best players here, okay?
Hey, but they really the three strongest.
The three strongest is there.
I think anyone in the team should go, right? That's me. Like, definitely not Sophia. But too bad, it's Sophia.
Ayo.
What a speech.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say, honestly, I thought we were going to win, so I don't know what the judges were like doing. But I guess if I had to choose someone, really tough, Thomas, because Christian's really, really, really good. Okay, bye.
Who is announcing? You lah.
Okay, so let's have Sophia and Thomas step forward. So, Sophia,
Yes.
your performance in this round was not as brilliant as your previous rounds. You gave us some explanation about why death could be a celebration, but we weren't very clear as to how. Thomas, you analogized this idea of motivation for deadlines, but unfortunately you didn't clash sufficiently with Red's ideas on how this reduces anxiety on their side to not know. So given that that's the case, it was very difficult to choose, but I think your teammates came to a decision. Thomas, step forward. Thomas, you are safe.
We had three really strong speaker. So if I really were to choose someone, I think my choice will be Sophia. Sophia!
I honestly feel like our team did perfectly as to what we planned. There's no real weak speaker here, so I have to judge on other factors like team play, which I feel Sophia might be a slightly weaker teammate compared to the rest, so I have to vote Sophia.
This is very sad. I would like to vote for Jason, but I cannot. So I will vote for Sophia because I feel like I have to keep Thomas for talker points.
Sophia, unfortunately, you got eliminated through the vote by your teammates.
Thank you for judging this, first of all. And
I
go blue team.
No.
I do have to say, like, I first stepped into this competition really, really very nervous. So I'm really quite surprised how my confidence kind of built through the rounds. And I'm so proud of you. Yeah. And like we have some really, really strong players over here and here. But of course, my vote definitely will go to the blue team because I'm so proud of all of them. So yeah. All the best, guys. Thank you, Sophia.
So proud of you, girl.
Just so you know, you didn't get the popular votes lah.
I got the perfect.
You didn't get the popular votes.
Before we end this round, can I just ask Blue a question?
Yes.
Okay. For the next episode, how worried are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know about them, but we are very worried because we don't even know why we are still here.
Exactly! And I'm still around.
Why?
Next episode's topic we already know. It's about video games.
Is it?
We have the SEA Games silver medalist sitting on our team. So I mean, what's there to be afraid of? We'll nail this.
Someone's flexing.
I have faith in my teammates.
Okay, so thank you for watching this episode of Master Debater, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Remember to vote for your MVP, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye!
So I'm really, really glad that I got to be a part of the Master Debater. I have to say that at first I was really hesitant about this because yes, I'm an actress, but it doesn't mean that I'm the best at public speaking. So I'm really happy to have been a part of this last. If you're wondering why I lost the last round, well, the whole topic came as a surprise to me. I was kind of thrown the topic at the very last minute.
Next time on Master Debater.
Stop it!
I don't know.
Silver medal, this earned me 0.